The Mighty Nein ends with a bang and sets up a new story that's miles away from the original actual play. But did their partners at Amazon just screw over the end of the series?
That's Bush. Bush League.
Before we dive into the finale of Critical Role's Mighty Nein animated series and how Amazon might have just heard it, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons? It's fast, it's free, and it's the gift that keeps on giving this holiday season. And then, let's talk some Mighty Nein. Before we dive into the spoilers, let's take a look at how Amazon Studios might have inadvertently screwed over the Mighty Nein with their release of the huge Fallout Season 2. While the shows were scheduled to overlap towards the end of the Mighty Nein's run, Amazon deciding to also make them debut on the exact same day every week, that being Wednesday at midnight, was something they definitely did not need to do, as their other massive hits like Reacher, for example, have debuted on Thursdays or Tuesdays and even Fridays, so there was no real reason to have them both overlap on the exact same day. And given that they both fall into that sci-fi and fantasy genre that all the viewership sites like to track together, like Just Watch or Parrot Analytics, it seems safe to assume that the audience overlap is very much a thing. And given the huge early indicators of Fallout Season 2 viewership hitting #1 nearly across the globe, we would not be shocked to see a major fall-off in the Mighty Nein viewership for Episode 7. It would also explain why Amazon moved the first episode of Fallout Season 2 to Tuesday extremely last minute, and the final episode of the Mighty Nein to a Monday release. Perhaps realizing their mistake a bit late in pitting two huge, similar genre releases against each other the same day, and how that could potentially cannibalize the viewership when they both released on Wednesdays. We'll have to wait a couple of weeks for the official data to know how much damage Amazon did to the Mighty Nein's viewership in these last two episodes, directly competing against the debut of Amazon's second biggest show ever, but hopefully the Mighty Nein Season 2 will get some breathing room before Amazon forces them up against another huge sci-fi or fantasy show. The Legend of Vox Machina Season 1 faced a somewhat similar issue, having the debut of the huge Reacher series hit on the exact same day every week after Episode 2, but at least Reacher is a different genre and was something of a surprise smash hit that first season to kind of explain away that move. Either way, it will be fascinating to dig into that viewership data when it becomes more available in the next few weeks. But for now, let's dive into some spoilers. The final episode of the Mighty Nein Season 1 went full alternate universe, weaving a version of events behind the recovery of the beacon by the Mighty Nein that is almost completely different from the actual play, including Ford draining the life out of a Kreen Echo Knight with the power of Uk'otoa, the Gentleman actually hiring the entire party to steal the beacon in the first place, and of course the sudden shocking arrival of Yasha, who touches the beacon and it kind of short-circuits the mind control of Oban and frees her to beg the Mighty Nein for help right as the season ends. We also got Molly going full Nonagon and Vesta Rogna revealing herself as the one who betrayed him and the current holder of the Nonagon's power, and Caleb confronting and then failing to stand up to Trent Ickathon as he's kind of seduced by his offer to rewrite his past with the beacon. All while Bo in a fancy dress and Ford in some kind of insane Chippendale servant outfit very publicly get involved in a massive fight with Trent and the Volstruckers in the middle of a gala ball, basically putting all of the bad guys in the Empire on notice as to who exactly the Mighty Nein are. The entire episode, minus some very quick flashbacks to the hilariously botched mansion break-in featuring that smothering rug from the actual play, seems to have been completely created from scratch to tell this new version of the Mighty Nein's tale and kind of weave it all together. And with its huge cliffhanger ending, with Trent uncovering Essek as the leader of the Kreen who stole back the beacon, and the sudden appearance of Yasha at the very end, seems to put us on a path where we can't even begin to imagine what the next step is going to be. The timeline has become so radically altered as to be kind of impossible to predict at this point, as multiple plot points from 100 or more episodes into the actual play are suddenly showing up in Season 1 of the animated show, while other chunks are being completely rewritten. And even the core of the characters are being changed in some ways, like Caleb being out for blood from day one instead of just kind of fighting to survive, or Ford being incredibly unsure and timid at times, and even Jester kind of questioning her faith in the Traveler. It's all new territory at this point, and that is pretty exciting. Basically, all the big bads and the big players of the final arc of the actual play are already in the mix this early on, with a lot of their secrets laid bare as well. And now it just remains to be seen if the changes wind up being the perfect thing to keep growing the Critical Role media empire, and if Amazon will give them the chance they need to make that happen. So what do you think about all the huge changes to the Mighty Nein? Are you on board, or do you want them to stick closer to the story of the actual play for Season 2? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.